Welcome back to Allison Customs. Today we got a tool bag Tuesday for you, and I've got some shrinker. Well, I've got a shrinker and a stretcher here for you, and we're working on some 16 gauge sheet metal. You've seen me use these in probably multiple videos. These are, I believe, Eastwood. I've had them for probably 15 years. They don't get used a lot, but they're about the only tool that'll do the job when you want to get this job done. Now, they have a fairly shallow throat here, meaning I can only do, I think, about 1 inch, maybe 1 1/8 inches. I don't remember the exact specs. They will shrink or stretch, even this 16 gauge sheet metal. It's pretty hard on your arms. I mean, as far as you're pulling pretty good, but they do a good job. I think the last time you saw me use them was for a project for the Scout, and I was doing some 18 or 20 gauge, which if you're stretching that, you thin that out pretty quick. With the 16 gauge, I'm probably stretching it down to a 18, maybe stretching it all the way down to a 20 gauge, but you still have plenty of meat there, and we're bolting through these. So what I just want to show you is what you've got, and I'm not going to take the whole thing apart, but there's a set of teeth in here. Okay, so if we look in here at the teeth, or the jaws, there are, you can see them open. This is the stretcher here. You open that up and you put your piece of metal in the gap. As you cycle the jaws together, you can see how they begin to move apart. You can now, with a piece of metal in here, now you can see, compared to where it was, you can see where the teeth grabbed it, and then looking at the shape, you can see how it pulled it apart and it stretched that metal to make it longer. And if you kept doing that, you would, on something this wide, you'd get a really deformed piece. So now I made 3 passes, and you can see when you start stretching the metal all the way across in this wide a piece, just adds a lot of shape to it. Was flat with just a lip on it, like this lip. Just had another one on this end. It's just a scrap off of something, but you can see what it does. It's warped it all out of shape and taken that lip out of it. And anyway, that's the stretcher. The shrinker works basically the same. When you open it up to put your piece of metal in there, you can see there's a gap in all the jaws, and as you close it, it drags everything together, shrinking the metal, which makes it thicker. So with the stretcher, we've turned this 20 gauge into 22, 24 gauge. If we kept going, we'll get it all the way down to where it'll just split. Okay, after 3 passes, we can see that we've almost gotten that piece of metal back to being flat and sized the way it was. If we kept going, we could get it, probably take all of that curve out of there, make it flat again, basically make it like nothing had ever been done to it. And then if you kept going from there, it would start to shrink it so much it would start deforming it in the opposite directions that stretching it did. So here's the plate they're sitting on. That's just a plate I made and welded a piece of angle iron to so I could put it in a vise. And the rest of the time it just sits on a shelf when not in use. I would like to put it on a stand, and then instead of having the arms that you would work, add a foot pedal that would pull down on the arm for you. Then you could use both hands to work, but that's a future project. So what we need to do is pull down on that multiple times, moving along here until we need a 90-degree angle or a 90-degree bend. And we just pull, lift, pull, and we're just moving a little bit at a time. You can see the teeth in here now, where the marks are from where the teeth were. So grabbing a hold of that metal and just spreading it out, and that's what's creating that arch. The shrinker grabs the metal out here, and then as you pull down on that handle, it pulls it together. And if we wanted this arch to go where the lip was on the inside, we would shrink all of this, and it would pull it in the opposite direction. And you can put S-bends or whatever you need in something to get a finished part. Well, that's it. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. We'll get back to you another Tuesday with another Tool Bag Tuesday, and I'll see you again real soon.